I'm gonna say this, man. Like, I don't really think it's fair what they doing to Kyrie at all. But it literally sheds light on like everything that Kanye's been saying. We have an Asian man that's the owner of the Brooklyn Nets telling a black man that his apology isn't suffice. But when has slavery, an apology from slavery ever been a suffice? Why should a to me, what they doing to Kyrie, it clogs up the pipeline that black people built for ourselves. We don't have a pipeline to Africa, none of these places that put money into the black community. You know, we have to put money into them. So as a black man, it's like, okay, I understand, where I'm at in life, but to sit up here and make a black man pay for something that happened to Jewish people in another country with Aryan driven white people. We're talking about white people. You feel me? And to sit up here and try to say that black people can't say that we're Jewish, that we of that cloth, that we're Israelites, that the whole tale told Moses, let my people go. There wasn't black people going through those, parting when he parted the sea. There wasn't black people crossing that sea. Those black folks. We don't get a proper apology for white people pretending to be black people and playing those roles in movies. But it's better to show white people crossing through the Red Sea than black people crossing it, right? Because it shows that slavery is extended beyond the 400 years of oppression of the slaves that was brought to America or sold to America. Now, I just have an issue with that, man, because it now you got not only white folks, man, that that don't fell back from the shit. We dealing with police brutality and other things that we had to go through. Now you got not only the Asian race, but the Jewish community trying to condemn black folks. And I'm gonna say Asian race because I'm gonna say that, I'm not even gonna get into that. If you know, but the owner of the Brooklyn Nets is Asian. And we all know that Asians don't align themselves with other races like that unless it's for financial gain. They normally keep everything tucked into their race, which ain't nothing wrong with at all. Black people don't have that luxury because we didn't come to this country under circumstances like as such. We don't have Chinatowns. Yeah, we have black neighborhoods, but those areas with Asian people, they tend to have ownership of the property in those areas. They tend to go to hospitals with doctors that, look like them, that money that they fronted into those hospitals. I mean, Asians, they work in black neighborhoods, but they don't spend money in black neighborhoods. You got to understand that when I say this, when you see, Middle Easterns owning shops and owning gas stations in the cheaper part of town in black neighborhoods, they don't put their money into those neighborhoods. They go back to where they reside in their zip code. This is not insensitive what I'm saying. This is reality. And the reality of is that as we're going through what we're going through over here, yes, in Africa, you may have some areas over there where they're like, hey man, that's not right what they're doing to black people over there. But they don't stand like we do when something going on in Africa. You got people done in a garment of Africans and have no idea why they wear what they wear. Some people would never go to Africa at all. And it's not because like they don't want to, it's because it's really expensive. And it's a complete disconnect to go there. Because like I said before, Africa does not have a pipeline in America. There's no for black neighborhoods. They have one in America, but it's not for black people. Not a diss on Africa at all. I'm not trying to do that. I've been down this road before. What I'm saying is that Africa itself don't have systems in place in America where black Americans, black from slavery, can go and learn about their people. We have to do We have to climb mountains to get an understanding. We have to go live there, be there, become, a part of the culture of Africa. Whereas the Africans can just come here. Black people don't open the gate up so wide. Africans can come here being who they are and thrive. So for an Asian man to tell a black man that his apology isn't suffice enough for his return, that we gave him a 5-day suspension, but we're going to turn it into a 5-day indefinite, no timeline when he coming back, I think is wrong. And they like to use this word a lot towards black people. I believe it's dangerous. It's dangerous and it's harmful. It's almost like that's your place, nigga. You feel me? It's almost like you climbing too high. Let me move the ladder, nigga. You can't get up there. What's wrong with you? You a nigga. You black. And they're going to say later on that they didn't mean it that way. They didn't intend it that way. But black people is the only race, and black and natives are the only races that get trampled on like that. Like, your voice does not matter. Even the numbers don't matter. Even if all black people got out and voted for certain parties, our numbers don't add up to the 70% of Caucasians and the other percentages that's out there, subtracting the 13% of African Americans. Even if we all voted, we couldn't beat the system. Not having proper representation in the government and in Congress and in the House of Representatives has been the biggest issue of it all. But I'm not liking this at all, man. Like, they keep talking about this movie. They want to remove it from there. They want to stop another black man from making money, all because he made a movie from Hebrews to Negros. I wrote a paper, man, like 2014 time frame. I was in the Navy still. I went to college. I was going on base. I was going on base on 32nd Street in San Diego. And I found a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things while I was writing this paper. But not only what I thought that came from it is that, black people used to be like exotic treasures. They used to enjoy having us on their arms, showing us our physique, our height, our skin color, how beautiful we looked, how radiant we looked. And they go from that to slavery, to Jim Crow, to the prison system, Joe Biden with the third strike rule, to to gang violence and drug violence and natural disasters like what happened in Louisiana. And for Kanye West had to be like, Bush don't care about black people because y'all left those people there to die after you was told way beforehand about the storm. You go to Flint, Michigan, where you got poor whites and poor blacks suffering. But you told poor white people that, oh yeah, you're suffering, but you're still better. But at least you're better than those poor black people. At least you're better than the richest black person. You're poor as hell, your teeth falling out your mouth. But at least you're white and he's black. Even though he's a millionaire, you're still better than him. It's a facade, people. It's a facade. I can relate this to anything that's happening right now in real time, bro. How can you be, we can talk about consumerism. The consumers. How could you be a multi-billion-dollar industry? Probably trillion. I don't know. I got to check into it. In a gas station, gas company like Exxon and Shell's make $14 to $16 billion in 1 quarter, 4 quarters in a year, and 1 quarter in a year in the most expensive and inflated time in American history, and no one says anything about it. And when I say says, because we're just people, we can't talk to these people, the people that represent us, the mayors, the governors, the senates, the people that represent us in Congress, our president. Hell, even other companies could have said something. That you guys said that it's COVID is the reason why, and these tankers are stuck in the water due to COVID, but you're making more money you ever made in your life. That is troublesome. And that should tell you, and the only reason I'm relating it to that is like, how long are we going to allow the powers to be to dictate how we live? See, you got to understand that if a white person's telling a black man, calling him a nigger, and tell him they gonna hang yourself, you got to understand that a black man was just hung, what, in 2007, 16 or 17 or something like that. I know for a fact that Mississippi, a high school in Mississippi, just got desegregated in 2017 of this year. Another school shooting, two black athletes are dying. Multiple school shootings where white people are shooting schools, and even Asians. I think the one in Columbine, he was Asian. I'm not sure. You correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm not saying that black people don't do anything wrong. You want to talk about Chicago? Let's talk about Chicago. Those guns was dropped into those neighborhoods. That violence was produced by white men. Crack cocaine, the crack era, we can talk about Ronald Reagan and his escapades. It all came out in 2000, I believe, when a reporter released all the documents from his research that Ronald Reagan was having dealings with the cartel, with drug movers. With drug movers to fund his escapades. Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Freeway Ricky Ross, was a product of that. The crack era is a product of white culture. Now let's fast forward to opioids and heroin use. Now people who are addicted to opioids or heroin, they get to go to rehab, luxury rehabs on not even on their own dollar. They don't get to fill up the prisons. Heroin addicts don't fill up the prisons. White people, Asian people, the Jewish community don't fill up the prisons. You got brown people filling up the prisons. You got mostly black, and then you got Hispanics. People, come on, man, stop the bullshit, bro. It's time we stand with our own people. It's time that we do that. It's time that we do something more effective other than writing on a post, commenting on a post. You feel me? You know, you drive by lights every day, signal lights every day. And that was produced by a black man, and a white man took the credit. Even Dodge itself, the car company itself, is from a black man. Took the idea. Same thing with Ford. Same thing. Like, you know, it's getting really irritating, and Minister Farrakhan said it himself, like, yeah, we know that the white people today aren't of their slave ancestors. Yeah, we know that. You know, I'm gonna get into why I'm saying this. White people today aren't the ones that did it, but they're benefited beautifully off of it. Beautifully. And Asian people think they can treat black people that way because white people are the powers to be. Same thing, I'm telling you, man, it's ugly and nasty because this hate is built up, you know, because it goes all the way into the Latin community, the Hispanics community, like Mexicans, you know, Mexicans. It goes into foreigners. They all feel the same way. Even into our own people in Africa, they look at black people like we're a threat, and we're creators. We made this ourselves. Our ancestors made this route for us themselves. We didn't get no help from Africa. There's no pipeline to Africa. Understand that. There's no pipeline. Africa did not produce the black America today. I love my people from Africa, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not dissing them. And they're going through a hell of a lot over there as well when it comes to China. Oh yeah, this whole thing with Akon, his town is being funded by the Chinese, China. They've been buying up land in Africa for decades. That's a whole nother conversation for another time. But these aren't anti-Semitic things that I'm saying. These are factual situations. This is factual information. It's not fair what they doing to Kyrie. It's not fair what they did to Kanye. It's not fair that Nike decided that they want to put their head into it, knowing that they did sweatshops, knowing they was involved with racism for years. LeBron disappointed me when he got on there and he said what he said, and we know he didn't watch the movie. You can tell LeBron don't be watching or reading stuff. I mean, I even seen a video where they was like, you know, and I'm a big LeBron fan, where they was like, every time they ask LeBron about a book that he's reading, he can never give you an answer. He can never give you a real answer on the book. And bro, you don't have to do that. You can sit down and you can read those books. You're a great man, have done great things. We're very proud of you and we love you. You don't have to lie about their books, or you can let us know in detail, or at least a snippet of what it's about, other than rambling about it or rambling on and around it. Now back to this NBA shit. Y'all wrong, bro. Y'all wrong, and I'm proud of what Jaylen Brown's doing. I'm proud of what the NBA, the NBPA, the player, well, the NBA Player Association is doing. I'm proud of that. You know, I'm stuttering a little bit just because I'm coming off the top of the head with this shit. It's a lot going on in America, but for the Jewish community, and for an Asian man to tell a black man that his apology isn't suffice. Come a little closer. We just took 50 years back in time. No way in hell should this be okay or should sit well with any American. No way in hell. And I'm not knocking the Asian community, because they definitely did their part over here in this country as well too. They did their part, but America is a melting pot. We all do our part. Black people just did a little bit more. There's lakes filled right now, beautiful lakes that was filled with black towns at the bottom of them. Ain't no Asian towns like that in America, bro. We didn't do that shit to Jewish people, bro. Germany did. Y'all came over here for salvation, and you came over here and got everything that was promised to us. I don't know how true this is, but if the average Jewish person in Jewish community is making over $100,000, 140K what it said, but I'm gonna put a buffer on it. I'm gonna say 100,000, 80 to 100,000, and the average black American is making 20,000. Something is wrong with that. It's a lot of backdoor secret shit going on, bro. And you can thank the Brooklyn Nets. You can thank the owner. You can thank Adam Silverman. You can thank Alvin Silver. You can thank Kanye's blowing up the industry and telling people, hey, you can thank Gap. You can thank these people because you guys have leached off black American culture, and you have poached from African culture, its players, its inventions, its mind. And you have the audacity to say that his apology isn't suffice. We get called niggers on video games. Behind the scenes in Congress, they dressing like blackface. They having parties making fun of us. They killing us in the streets. Our own people are killing us because they think less of themselves. And this is from white culture. This is white society that done bled into these other countries. Why did you come to America if those countries was treating you well? You came here because this country does not brutalize their people like those other countries do. They allow you to grow. But instead you shit on us to do the growing. Somebody got to get shitted on. It's a story I read a long time ago, short story. It's called Utopia. And it's this great place, beautiful place. But in order for this place to stay a utopia type world, one person had to suffer. So they grabbed this little boy, threw him into a closet, took the door or room, took the locks off, locked him in that room. They speak of things like he he peed and pooped on himself. He did vile things like a demon. He all type of fornicated, ejaculation, not fornication, but ejaculation. A lot of things in there, just a bunch of negative things they were saying. But the question is, could that town be called a utopia if that was taking place? I'm gonna end it right there, man. Tap in with your boy. I'm not looking to get no viewers or no followers. I'm just looking to get feedback, direction. Did you guys watch From Hebrews to Negros? Did you watch it? Now, they're telling us that it's hateful things, but they haven't told you what was hateful in it. I want you to remember that. Thank you.